Look what we have here. Victoria Sterling's arrogant voice echoed through the elite. Manhattan boxing gym. Every boxer stopped punching. Even the heavy bags seemed to hold their breath. At the entrance stood an 18-year-old black Jamaican girl. Worn sneakers, torn sports bag, and eyes full of quiet fire. Her name was Kesha Campbell. The gym smelled of sweat and money. Monthly fee यहाँ एक normal worker के 3 महीने की salary से ज़्यादा थी. Victoria, 26, two-time world champion, millions of followers, queen of trash talk, folded her arms and smirked. Lost your way, sweetheart? This isn't a charity gym. We train real athletes here, not social projects. Kesha glanced at her cracked phone. I thought this was the youth scholarship program. Victoria laughed so loud ke walls tak shake kar gaye. Scholarship? Honey, this isn't a community center. Go back before you embarrass yourself. That's when an old, rugged man walked out from his office. Tom Rodriguez, veteran trainer and owner of the gym. The program exists, he said calmly. And Kesha Campbell is on the approved list. The room went silent. Victoria rolled her eyes. Seriously, Tom? You're turning my gym into a charity? My sponsors won't like this. They pay for your fights, Tom replied, not for your opinions. But Victoria stepped forward, her tone dripping with mockery. You know what, sweetheart? Since you want to train with the pros so badly, let's prove if you deserve to be here. 3 rounds, you and me. If you last, you stay. Gasps filled the air. Kesha's eyes didn't flinch. She knew this was a trap, a public humiliation. But she also knew she had no choice. I accept, she said quietly. For a second, even Victoria blinked, maybe expecting tears, not confidence. Oh, you'll regret that, she sneered. When I'm done, you'll wish you never dreamed this big. Kesha just smiled faintly. We'll see. None of them knew that the girl they mocked carried a storm inside her. Back in Kingston's slums, they called her one name, Lightning. Because when life threw storms at her, she struck back harder.
News of the friendly fight spread faster than wildfire. In less than an hour, the gym was packed. Boxers, journalists, fans, everyone waiting for blood. Victoria was already recording stories for her 2 million followers. Guys, you won't believe this. Some random girl from Jamaica wants to fight me. Let's teach her a lesson. The comments poured in. Destroy her, queen. Show her what real boxing looks like. Meanwhile, Kesha changed quietly in the locker room, her hands steady, her heart burning. Tom entered, concern written on his face. Kesha, you don't have to do this. She's a world champion. Kesha tied her gloves tighter. She's fighting for fame. I'm fighting for respect. Tom frowned. And what do you have that she doesn't? Kesha looked straight into his eyes. Hunger. That one word gave Tom chills. As she shadow-boxed, memories flashed. Dusty Kingston alleys, street fights for food, her mother screaming for her to stop. But survival had no pause button. Outside, Victoria mocked her worn sneakers for the camera. Probably learned boxing from YouTube, she joked. Laughter filled the gym, except from one man in the corner. Marcus Williams, a retired champion. I've seen that calm before, he whispered. The quiet ones are the dangerous ones. Tom decided to test Kesha before the match. Let me see your stance, he said. What happened next left him speechless. Kesha moved like smoke, fluid, silent, unpredictable. Every jab landed perfectly. Every step had rhythm. This wasn't beginner stuff. This was instinct forged by years of street survival. Just then, the gym door opened. A tall, broad-shouldered Jamaican man entered, scarred hands, wise eyes. Kesha, he said in a deep voice. She froze. Uncle Winston? The name spread like wildfire. Lightning, Winston said, and the word echoed like thunder. Tom blinked. Lightning? You mean Lightning Campbell? The underground fighter from Kingston? Winston nodded. The same. She stopped fighting years ago, until someone tried to humiliate her again. Across the gym, Victoria kept mocking into her phone, even brought her family to see her get destroyed. Cute, right? Winston clenched his jaw. Arrogant fool. She has no idea who she's fighting. Tom whispered, Then why didn't Kesha tell us who she was? Winston smiled faintly. because real strength doesn't need to announce itself. Moments later, Kesha walked toward them, sweat glistening on her skin, eyes sharp as blades. "Uncle, please don't tell anyone." "Why not?" Winston said. "They need to know the storm they're about to face." "No," Kesha replied. "Let her think I'm weak. Arrogance is the easiest way to lose." Then she looked at Victoria across the ring and said quietly, "When people like her try to humiliate us for our color or where we come from, we don't fight for trophies. We fight to exist." And that's when Tom realized this was no sparring match. This was justice in gloves. The bell rang. Victoria lunged forward, fast, aggressive, confident. But Kesha wasn't there. She moved like a shadow, dodging every punch before it landed. "What the?" Victoria muttered, swinging wildly. Kesha ducked, sidestepped, and then, crack! Her left hook connected clean on Victoria's jaw. Gasps filled the gym. The queen had just been hit, hard. Victoria staggered. Impossible. But Kesha didn't stop. She floated around her opponent like wind, eyes calm, strikes precise. Every punch Victoria threw, Kesha countered with double the speed. Every arrogance melted into fear. "Who is this girl?" Someone shouted. Winston smiled. "Lightning Campbell." By the second round, Victoria's face was bruised, her breath ragged. Her own followers online had turned against her. "She's getting destroyed." "Respect that Jamaican queen." Kesha stepped in, whispering through her mouthguard. Lightning was never a nickname. It was a warning. Then came the storm. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. 4 punches in 2 seconds. Victoria hit the canvas like a collapsing wall. 10, shouted Tom. "Knockout!" The crowd erupted. Kesha stood still, silent, victorious. She walked to her fallen opponent and said softly, "You wanted to teach me a lesson. I hope you learned that respect isn't earned by privilege. It's earned by character." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. Around her, phones recorded every second. Her own arrogance now trending as humiliation. Within hours, the video exploded online. "World champion destroyed by Jamaican amateur." Sponsors pulled out. Followers vanished. Her fame collapsed overnight. 3 months later, Victoria lived in a small apartment, broke and forgotten. Meanwhile, Kesha Campbell, Lightning, signed a $2 million professional deal. Her new brand slogan, "Earned, not given." She founded Lightning Dreams, a program giving poor girls boxing scholarships. At the opening of her gym in Kingston, she said, "This story isn't about revenge. It's about dignity. Because when someone underestimates you, you can either break or become unbreakable." Years later, when she became world champion, Kesha stood under bright lights and said, "I thank everyone who tried to put me down. You taught me that real power isn't about where we're from. It's about never letting others define our limits." And somewhere, watching on TV, Victoria Sterling whispered the truth she had learned too late. Talent is born, greatness is forged. Lightning Campbell didn't just win a fight. She rewrote what it means to be strong, proving that sometimes storms don't destroy, they reveal who was lightning all along.